Hi everyone, nice to see you again, and for anyone that's not seen my previous videos, this is the final video to a series of videos I've made which covers our relocating journey from Newcastle to Cairns and how our tropical lifestyle is panning out. Last week we covered selling our house in Newcastle and securing a rental in Cairns. We moved into our rental in June 2024, and the kids, which was our son and his girlfriend, moved up to live with us, and we now had all of our fur babies with us. Essentially, we rented a house just for our dog because we actually enjoyed our unit life, but with the kids now living with us, we had started looking for houses with a nice yard for our dog and plenty of room for multi-generational living. We looked at so many houses which had separate living areas to suit the kids and us, so we weren't living in each other's pockets. And unfortunately, until our house was sold, we weren't in a position to make an offer on anything. So in the meantime, the kids had found jobs, but after 6 months decided they wanted to go back to Newcastle because they were missing their friends and found it too hot. Seriously, they've had hotter weather down south, plus a hell of a lot of rain. Anyway, by the time they decided to do this, our house had settled and they'd gotten a rental in Newcastle. They stayed until Christmas and left the day after Boxing Day to return to Newcastle. This was hard for us, but I understood that they needed to make their own way in life. So once they had made that decision to go back, we stopped looking at houses to accommodate them as well. We looked at a number of little villas in the northern beaches from Trinity Beach to Palm Cove. We really wanted to buy in Palm Cove, and just when we were in a position to buy something, a villa in a complex we had been really keen on had one come onto the market. So it had its own little private swimming pool in its little courtyard, but the pool took up most of that little courtyard. We did love it, but there wouldn't have been a lot of room for our big dog. We did decide to put in an offer though, because we didn't want to make a decision solely based on the dog, considering he was in his twilight years. We knew this would require more commitment from us to make sure he got regular walks, etc. And we were willing to do this. It was very small, but it had reasonable sized living areas. So we put in an offer. We then got the body corporate meeting minutes, which I would highly recommend if you're thinking about buying into anything with a body corporate. And we found some issues in the complex with white ants and the complex pool area in need of some major money to be spent. So this raised a couple of concerns for us, of course, because we started thinking about, did we want to be paying for a body corporate for a pool that we wouldn't even use, since the villa included its own private pool? So that was a consideration. But in the meantime, while waiting for the agent to come back to us, we looked at a much newer little house on a small block with a pool for a little more, but it had windows the whole way around it, which we knew our dog would love because he could run all the way around the back and both sides of the house and see us from just about anywhere. So we decided to put in an offer on this one. The agent came back and asked us if we could increase the offer. We went another 10,000 and they accepted. We withdrew our offer on the little villa. So this all happened over Christmas. So it delayed settlement quite a bit, but by February, March, we were ready to move in. Then came the cleanup of the rental. Seriously, I hope to never do this again. They picked up on the smallest little things. And for anyone that's rented before, I'm sure you can relate. The house was left in much better condition than when we moved in, but to no avail. A bit of back and forth, and finally we got over the line and got all of our bond back. We moved our little fur baby family into our new house, settling in Trinity Beach, and it's been perfect for us. We have a little walk to our local restaurants and bars, but everything is very close. I quite like it, to be honest, because it forces me to get my steps up and get some exercise. We have the doctors, post office, chemist, and bottle almost at the end of our street, as well as the bus stop. The bus service is great with our 50-cent fares and takes you to straight into town, which we love. When we decide we want to have a night out in town, we just spend the money on a taxi home, and it's around $70. But considering we don't do it often, we don't mind spending that. So shortly we will have a new Woolworths opening just down the road. So it's all happening in this little suburb. It's growing, and we're so happy with our decision to settle in Trinity Beach. Property prices have grown since moving here as well, which is a bonus for us as homeowners. We're loving life here in the Northern Beaches, and I find it overwhelming at times, as the social life is very full on with all the wonderful new friends we've made. It's definitely made me want to get to retirement much quicker, because work is definitely getting in my way. So this will be the last video of my series of our moving journey, but I hope you've enjoyed it, and thank you for watching. Life is too short to be spent in one place, in my opinion. So get out and explore, I say. If you can relate to my journey or relocating and travel interests you, subscribe to my channel and leave a comment if you're going through something similar or have any questions. Next week, I'm really excited. I'll be starting an exciting travel journey, so stay tuned and see you again next Wednesday. It's going to be something completely different. Sawadee.